Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I am Josh, and that is Jason over there. This is the Redpill Project Daily Dose, live with you Monday through Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and that is with Daylight Savings, Jay. I hope everybody had a good
last night.
Yeah, well, I hope everybody had a great weekend. I hope everybody's doing well. Happy birthday, Chana. How are you doing? I hope you're having a fantastic day out there. I hope everybody is doing good. Great weekend. Great start to the week. Great start to my week was a blizzard throughout the weekend, which dumped about 1.5 feet of snow. And in some cases, with the wind, we had 2 foot, 3 foot, 5 foot drifts all throughout the backyard. Yeah, I got some sun. I was out shoveling almost 2 feet of snow out of my driveway today. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm a little sore, kind of hurting right now. I already took one soaking Epsom salt bath today. I'm probably gonna do another because I'm in a lot of pain. But hey, that's life, man. I was out there and the neighbor kid's mom texted me and she's like, they usually shovel our driveway, right? And it's $30, and I'm like, if it's a light snow, I'm like, nah, dude, I'll give you 20, right? He's like, okay. And then today she texted and she goes, $50, we'll shovel your driveway. I'm like, the hell is this? I'm like, no. I'll shovel it myself. I'm still glad I didn't pay the $50. I put it away for a four-wheeler.
Listen, I knew we were getting a big snow, and for some reason, cold weather, my four-wheeler will not start. The throttle sticks up. So I'm like, I am not shoveling 8 to 10 inches of snow.
Yeah.
So I found a snow blower and went and got that. 2 days later, the four-wheeler started up, and I was like, man, should I have gotten it? But
well, if you get the room for it. I looked at it in the sense, I was talking to Jeff about it today. I said, should I go out and buy a snowblower, right, which is only used maybe 3 times a year here in Colorado, right? That's $800 and takes up the same amount of space as a four-wheeler, or go pay $3,000 to $4,000, buy a four-wheeler, get a plow on it, and I have that thing all year round.
That's what I have.
And so that was the justification to Michelle. We'll see what happens. I'd like to get one. I definitely would like to get one. So we'll see. It's that's most likely the last snow that we're gonna have here for a while. It's interesting because it goes back to one of the Fringe episodes we talked about. Remember what I was telling you with when they manipulate the weather? And it's like holding a spring back, right? It's like slowly pulling that string back and you're unbalancing a system to the point where when you unbalance a system to that degree, the system basically has to get all of its energy out in a short amount of time. And so when you have these major storms come through, like the one that happened in Texas, like the one that just happened here in Colorado, that is a result of exactly that. Does that make sense? Yes, that doesn't make sense to Jason. So think about this, Jay. Right?
All right, I'm thinking.
Storms are energy. Mm-hmm. Right? Okay. A season comes along and nature disperses energy throughout that season, right? Built up energy from high and low pressures, basically interexchanging energy and just kind of mixing up, right? Mm-hmm. When you suppress that seasonal condition, manipulate it to where that exchange doesn't happen and the natural cycle can't take place, nature, the intelligence of nature, has to basically respond to that with a massive superstorm. Because it has this amount of energy, this thing that it has to do during the cycle. And so that's why you get these massive storms like this that hit, in my opinion. But, I mean, in Colorado, we hadn't had dick for snow all winter.
You know, it's interesting. Our guest last night, Karen and Kai.
Yeah.
So they spend a lot of time out in the stars, right? Because they'll park anywhere, man.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that he's been seeing these planes, which he suspects are spraying. And he said he actually said to Karen, watch, there's going to be a badass storm come through. And sure enough, you guys and who was it, Wyoming got pounded.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And he goes, they've been spraying for it. So I don't know, man. You know, sometimes this stuff seems so Hollywoodish. Is it really true?
Well, you know what? You got to look at the strategic advantage, right? Look at it and ask yourself, is there a strategic advantage of manipulating the weather within your own country?
Absolutely.
Well, what would that advantage be? What would the reason be that they would want to do that?
So there's a couple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could be to drive sales. So company could forecast and be like, man, we're down.
So commercial companies doing it, right?
Yeah. You could have a vote that's going in politically, either within those states or within the federal government.
Mm-hmm.
So something to distract people with, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I just.
What about a multi-trillion-dollar a year industry called carbon tax? And showing people that global warming is actually real, when in actuality it is a manipulated condition being perpetuated by governments and elites to implement this control, totalitarian, socio-capitalistic system.
Where there's that, Josh.
I mean, right? Where there's that. I mean... Yeah. Take your pick. I wonder which one, which one they. Right. But it makes sense when you have a system that can be implemented because of what you're doing, that gives you control. Now, this is one of the things that's always bothered me, and I'm very outspoken about it. Is why are they so hard set on control? See, typically human beings, as we've evolved, if you want to call it that, on this planet, or whatever's happened on this planet, is we're a very migratory species, and we tend to stay within small social groups, 5 to 10 to 15 people. Hunting parties usually were comprised of about 4 to 5 people, right? And our communal arena areas would always be about 25 people, 5 different hunting parties, these types of things. And it's been found over and over and over in many different educational circles that human beings becomes a point of unpredictability when human beings start organizing and getting into larger communal structures. I think looking at inner cities, the congestion in the inner cities of population is a prime example of this. Look at the amount of poverty. Look at the amount of crime. Look at the amount of corruption in politics and business. Right? Those aren't natural states. Now go to the rural areas. Why do the rural areas have less crime, less poverty? And people will say, well, there's less people. Exactly. That's exactly the point. There's less people. Is when you start basically putting people together in large groups, things become unpredictable. And so when looking at the global elite and these types of people, you have to ask yourself is, why? What is the point here, right? Why are they trying to implement this system of control? Because statistically speaking, it's going to fail. It won't succeed for them. And historically and statistically speaking, it won't work. People will rise up. People will get mad. People will get angry. Society will begin to collapse as a whole. This is one of the reasons why in many of these socialist countries that came about, whether it was Stalin or Mao or what was his it's on the tip of my tongue now. Lenin, Stalin. That's why they went and killed off all the dissenters, because they believed by getting rid of all those people that resisted them that they could have the society they wanted. But they were wrong, because it doesn't work that way.
Right.
And so you got to ask yourself, what are they trying to prove? Are they really this stupid?
Yeah,
or is there something more going on here?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like you and I, we talked about drops today.
Mm-hmm.
And
what drops? Q drops?
Q drops. And at this moment, I don't think there's anything to validate them. There's
so you know what I do?
Drive thoughts to them.
I actually look at them every day. I look at deltas every day, and I try to find relevance. I try to find context.
And there is
none. If I do, I'm reaching for straws. And, I'm not here to lie to people. I'm not here to blow smoke up people's ass, lead them in the wrong direction. And I know some people had some concern about this, like, hey, you need to get back to this. And, viewer count went from 2,000 to 200. I'm not here for views. I'm not here for having people watch me and, oh, good show, you gave me hope. It's not about that. It's about information. It's about waking up. When you wake up, it's not peaceful. It's not happy, right? It's, we get plenty of views on our videos. We get 3,000 in the last Daily Dose episode. That's about normal for us, right? And, we're gonna reach more people because our message is pure, our message is sound, and it's honest. And actually, I'll give everybody a little bit insight here. Is I talked to Methods yesterday.
Ooh.
So we will be going on the Foxhole app. That's with everybody else's show, Redpill 78. I think X22 is going on there. A few other people. Crypto Beatles is one of the owners of the company. So there we go. It's off of Pilled, Pill.net. So if you're on Pilled, the Foxhole app is a derivation of Pilled. So yeah, we're going to be on that platform. That's going to be happening in the next week or so. So we got plenty of audience. I'm not worried about audience.
Yeah.
If it was just us, as long as we're informed, it's a great day.
I quite honestly think Josh and I would probably do this if nobody else gave a shit.
If you like two people watching, but still doing it.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, one, I get to talk to him, and two, I get to be informed, and we get to talk about our thoughts, our takes on certain things, why things are happening. I mean, the one thing you can't get away from is follow the news. The news will lead to where we're going. And that's what we're doing with you guys. I mean, we're following the news and we're giving you our true takes on them. Yeah. And I think they're honest takes. I don't think that we beat around the bush. I mean, look at Como. It came out today. I was listening to my talk show radio, man, and it came out. And you know what they said? This whole sex scandal with Como is to divert everybody's attention away from the nursing home deaths. And Josh said that last week. So, there it is. I mean,
and nothing's going to come out of it. He's not going anywhere. And if he does, all it is the takeaway. Basically, he has to take a fall from the nursing home deaths. But on top of that is what did we have in the sense of those nursing home deaths? Hold on, I got it pulled up here. Pennsylvania House Majority Leader refers probe of Wolf admin over COVID-19 nursing home deaths. Here it comes. And so now Pennsylvania is taking the same measure, right, that New York State did. And so so watch out for the sex scandal coming out about Governor Wolf, because that's most likely going to happen. Because this is what they do, guys. It's all about misdirection. But closing out on that is, guys, this is about information. This is about waking people up. And this isn't for everybody, right? Yeah, we talk about everything. We talk about the geopolitical and geoeconomic. We talk about weird things, conspiracy. You have to talk about all of them because they're all interrelated. Right? I mean, talking about the financial area, talking about the bubble that's forming, talking about crypto. That's all a part of this. And if we ignore it, then we're not doing ourselves justice by trying to be informed.
Yeah.
And this is what we do, is we want to be informed, because if we can be informed, we can stay ahead of the curve. Because right now we see this very, very dark narrative that the Democrats are painting. Yeah. Very dark narrative. And what they are doing is setting people into a trap.
Yep. Joe Biden is getting ready to, or is planning the first major tax increase in 3 decades. And one of those is capital gains tax is going to go from 20% to 40%. Let that sink in. Let that sink in.
Hold on, let me find it.
Yeah. You sell your house, the realtor is going to get 6, the government's going to get 4.
So this was from Disclosed TV. Payback time. Biden to propose first major federal tax hike since 1993 after signing massive $1.9 trillion relief package and looming $2.4 trillion infrastructure bill. Now, this is important to understand the date. Why is 1993 important there, Jay?
What's that? Why is
1993 important there?
Because that's when Bill Clinton did his overhaul.
Because that was the Democrats. Again.
Yep.
Who basically skeleton crewed the military, sold nuclear weapons to North Korea, introduced damaging legislation to African American and minority communities in the sense of jail times and drug crimes that Trump tried to overturn, and massive tax hikes. And also, I believe in 93, 94, there was a massive financial collapse during that time, a small mini recession, 94 time frame. And what I said here is, I said very simply, goodbye, middle class.
Yep.
That's exactly what they are doing right now, guys, is they are killing the middle class.
And it's gonna take this economy, and it's gonna go. All the brakes are gonna go on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then he's doing something else. I don't know if you've caught this yet, but he's offering tax credit for first-time homebuyers. You seen this?
No.
So he's given a tax credit to first-time homebuyers. Well, you say, "Oh, that's great. That's awesome. He's doing that." No, it's a really bad thing to do, because right now, the housing
market is at the top of its cycle,
and the inventory is really low. And so all of a sudden you incentivize people to buy when your inventory is low. It means you're going to overinflate prices again, and you're going to have a housing bubble.
So,
I mean, Joe Biden literally is going like this. He's got the TNT wired around the whole entire country. He's about this. Boom. That's what Joe Biden's doing right now.
So, adding on to what Jay's saying, do you buy a stock when it's going up?
No.
Do you buy a stock at its new all-time high?
No.
So Joe Biden basically just said is, hey, this stock looks really good. It's at an all-time high. I'm going to give you a credit if you buy it right now. Mm-hmm. It's in an oversold position. The lack of it, the scarcity of it, is in an oversold position. There's no demand, or there's no supply to meet the demand. And he's going to do exactly what Jay said. So what we're going to see is we're going to see a bubble form again. We're going to see an inflation of housing prices, which will be good in the short term, right? Value of your house will go up in the short term. And then it'll go. And I don't know. I mean, I thought this financial collapse would have happened by now. I thought the financial collapse would have happened within 90 days. But I think that they understand that we understand, and that they know we're watching it. And I think what we're going to see is we're going to see segmentations of this complete financial collapse. I think what we're going to see is from one of our friends, an insider, who said that fill up on gas this weekend because gas prices are going to skyrocket to you never believe. So gas and oil is the first one. And then we have other things happening, right? We have hyperinflation happening in the United States. So once gas prices increase, gold and silver prices, precious metals will start to increase.
Yeah. I caught some lumber prices in Ava, New York, AVA.
Yeah.
It's about 2.5 hours away from me. And they were mill prices for hickory. Now, I don't know if you know your woods and stuff like that, but
yeah, I'm a professional.
But if you're buying hickory, you're from a lumber yard or you're from the home box centers, you're paying pretty premium prices. And this guy's prices were knockout. You want to know why? Because he's Amish. And this guy's, you know what? He's still doing things the way they do them. Now, you got to ask yourself, why isn't he clobbering us? Want to know why? Because he knows that's what it takes for him to feed his family and be reasonable and not screw people over. Now, I'm not saying that the lumber yards are screwing you over. I'm saying that everybody else is screwing you over. They just have to sell it. And that's a problem. How can he can mill it the way he can mill it and be, 120% cheaper? It's a big deal.
Well, because there's no corporate tax in there. They don't have 100,000 employees to pay. They don't have all the taxes to pay on all those employees. They don't have the health insurance to pay for all those employees, right?
I identify as Amish.
Wow, that makes it so much easier.
Dude, problem solved.
I identify as Native American.
Oh.
Because guess what? I am Native American. I was born on this land.
Yeah.
Oh, smart one there, Josh. So
another note, some people just had aneurysms because you just triggered them.
Who? Oh.
Liberals.
Did he really just say that? Oh my God.
Cancel.
Dislike report. They haven't found us yet. It's okay. It's a burner channel. All right. So continuing on here with the news. India to propose a law banning cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, criminalizing the possession, issuance, mining, trading, and transfer of such digital assets. Now, this is interesting. Now, we know that central banks are producing their own digital currencies. India is one of them. But India is basically saying is that you cannot own any other method of exchange other than what they tell you that is. So Modi, Mr. Peace guy, right, is now becoming a tyrant. And by the way, it just makes it more valuable, by the way. India doesn't have freedom of money. Think about that. Freedom of money. I want you guys to really think about that. India doesn't have freedom of money. If you don't have freedom of money, what don't you have, Jason?
You don't have freedom of money. You don't have any freedoms. Yeah.
You have your mental freedoms, but your mental freedoms are constricted by what you can exchange that energy for. And if you don't have the freedom of the money, if someone else dictates how much money you make, if someone else dictates how much money you can spend, where you can spend it, and what money you get to use, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so that right there is the first line of this tyrannical world government that wants to implement control. And the reason they do it is exactly what you're seeing right now with why things like Bitcoin are going up and down, things like all these other different cryptocurrencies are going up and down. And the reason why that happens is simply because they don't want you in it. So what they do is they wait for everybody to get these stimulus checks, right, Jay? Mm-hmm. People start getting their stimulus checks and go, I'm going to go buy Bitcoin, which is a pretty good investment.
Yeah.
And they put their money in Bitcoin, $1,500, and then Bitcoin drops 5% this weekend. And they go, oh no, all my money, and they pull out with like $300. And then Bitcoin goes right back up. And then today, boom, drops again.
Leasing of America.
Because this is what they're doing. Is the people who own it all understand that they can move the price really easy. If they can move the price really easy and they don't want you in there and they want to buy cheap Bitcoins, guess what they're going to do? They're going to keep doing that until they own the majority. And then we just don't use Bitcoin. Because what they have to understand is that it's us who bring the value to it, not them. And this is what I mean. They either know something that we don't know, which mostly possible, or they're just really stupid and unorganized. And I think it's like a combination that they know some things that we don't know, but they're really stupid and unorganized. It just, some of the things that they do just does not make sense. And what I also think it is, Jay, is I think it is different factions that are striving for control. And you have different factions within this global elite structure that are making moves and counter moves, and that they're not all on the same page. They don't all see things exactly the same. And I think a lot of what we see here happening everywhere is this play. All right. Disclosed TV. U.S. military halts gender-neutral Army combat fitness test, the ACFT, test, as female soldiers were failing at a rate of 65%, according to the Pentagon study, review to make it fair to both genders underway. Wait, what? Okay. So, This is what's happening, guys. The U.S. military halts its gender-neutral Army combat fitness test. This is a fitness test. This is a test that you have to go through every quarter in the military. Every quarter in the military, you have a health and fitness standard that you have to abide by. For every branch of the military, that test is different. Okay, Jason? Mm-hmm. And in order, they develop these tests because you should be within a certain height and weight, and you should be in a certain athletic capability, right? Especially if you're in the Army or something like that. 65% of females are failing this test. So what they're going to do, Jay, is they're going to go back and change the test. Because that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Now, coming on over here to Cloud Hub, I want to read this because this is from General Flynn, and this pertains to exactly what is being said here. General Flynn says, quote, "I have said for many years what our Defense Department leadership worries more about socialization and cultural awareness programs and not enough about fighting and winning our nation's wars against our most dangerous adversaries. We will fall into the abyss along with the other failed nation states. God help us as we pass through this perilous waters of America's journey into this new future." Now, very interesting there that he says, Jay, new future. Because the word future is kind of defined as new, right? The new episode of time. But he says this new future here. Pretty interesting.
Your take on it.
What's that?
What's your take on that?
I think Flynn is calling it as he sees it, is that our military leadership, not the military leadership, SecDev, is not about war. It's not about getting and preparing our war fighters for any battles or potential wars in the world. Now, he did this right after a post that he said that China said that they're going to integrate the Taiwanese peninsula within the next 5 years. So the post right before this was that China was going to try to integrate Taiwan peninsula back into China in the next 5 years. That's a prelude to war right there. Okay? And so then he posts this. So basically he's saying is that the SecDef doesn't give two shits about building our military force up to where it needs to be. He's more worried about people inside that want to follow the Constitution in a sense, right? He's more about cultural awareness, inclusion, diversity, and socialization. That's a problem. Yeah. That shouldn't be something that plagues your military. You know, did you see the Babylon Bees post from Friday saying the U.S. military is going to start integrating gender-colored uniforms to help tell different genders apart in the military, and including like pink camo and stuff? Wait,
why don't you just put red circles on them with a bullseye?
Right.
Jesus.
Well, it was it's satire, but
I get it, but still.
New York Post: Alabama's Republican Party unanimously passes a resolution declaring former President Trump one of the greatest presidents in U.S. history. And President Trump, he wasn't too silent today, was he? He came out a little while ago, and this is directly from my email.
Man, I feel like I live in a shoebox. What the hell did he say? Clueless.
So he sent this out today. Statement by Donald J. Trump, 45th President of the United States of America. The Washington Post just issued a correction as to the content of incorrectly reported phone call I had with respect to voter fraud in the great state of Georgia. Now, if we remember this is the one that they tried to impeach him over. Okay? One of the aspects that they tried to impeach him over. The Washington Post came out and corrected the article, Jay, that the quotes that they utilized were false. That nobody ever said them. They were fake.
Yeah.
Okay, so the important thing in this, and it's not very long, is he goes on and kind of calls out Raffensperger and a few other people. But he says, I would further appreciate a strong investigation in the Fulton County, Georgia, and Stacey Abrams' political machine, which I believe would totally change the course of the presidential election in Georgia. So it sounds like he's still fighting. It sounds like he's still out there trying to do something. We'll see.
You know, I'm hoping I'm around in 25 years so I can hear the story of what fucking happened in the 2020 election. Hopefully it'll come out in 25 years.
Yeah, right? So, hearing scheduled next Monday for H.R. 51, the bill to make Washington, D.C. the 51st state of the United States of America. Now, this is a major problem. So, Washington, D.C. is more of what we call a city-state. All right? It's a city, a district developed for governance, not meant to have voting rights. And it's that way for a very specific reason. Okay? Firstly is that it turns the tide in any constitutional process, because it now has the authority of a state. Secondly, it gives the Democrats more electoral votes. Thirdly, it's a controlled and manipulated local and city government. And there's specific restrictions in the Constitution against it, Jason. And see, the thing is you can't vote a bill to make it a state. You have to have, I believe, a constitutional convention. It's only by a vote of the states can a new state be entered into the union. And so if they try to pass this through a bill, people are going to cry a foul. I'm pretty sure people are going to cry a foul. But this is reasons like this is why not a state. These liberals will take this country to hell in a handbag, and that is the truth in the matter, isn't it? We just went over Trump's statement. Oh, this was interesting. Mike Lindell, My Pillow guy, right? My Pillow CEO says new app will be safe place for those canceled by YouTube and Twitter.
Uh-oh.
Now, I want everybody to go back to earlier episodes of Daily Dose. Okay? Now, this app is not
that somebody was going to build an app for us all.
That I said that we cannot have information dissemination. You cannot release Wiener's laptop. You cannot release Hunter Biden's laptop. You cannot release any of this information when the big tech still controls all the platforms.
Yep.
You need someone to build something that's completely decentralized from them, of which has mass adoption from those people that are being censored to the point where big tech cannot interfere or control it. Period.
So are you saying that do you think or do you suspect that Lindell's actually got massive servers in a massive amount of space to do this that he controls or somebody controls?
I'm going to tell you right now that this app will not be on the app stores because they won't allow it. This app will most likely try to be blocked by ISPs, internet service providers. In where, Jay, you remember when you tried to put a link in your phone and send it and the link never showed up?
Mm-hmm.
Who censored a link that you were trying to send in a chat?
I'd assume Verizon did.
Verizon.
Yeah.
That's an ISP, an internet service provider.
Yep.
Or it was Apple, the phone manufacturer. Either way,
Right.
when you go to chat on your own phone, which is your personal property, it's not. By the way, they own it. And then you type in a web URL and they block it. You can't send it because it's that harmful.
Yeah.
Okay? That's big tech. And so what Mike Lindell's doing is he's going to create this platform, which will be out in the next few weeks. I'm telling you, he's going to have a mass adoption of this platform like nothing you've ever seen before. We'll be on there. All right?
Yeah, I bet you they're making their own provider. I bet you they're going to compete against everything.
Well, they have to. You almost have
their
to.
own cell phone company. They could start their own or their internet service provider. They could have their own.
Well, the ISP is a little bit harder because it involves infrastructure. But with everything going wireless, one of the best things that he could do is team up with Elon Musk and utilize Starlink.
There you go.
But so here's the thing. Is in the next few months, once this platform has a mass adoption, 100 million. A mass adoption for a platform like this would be about 100 million, okay? Once they get to about 50 to 100 million, all that information that we just talked about will be released.
Yep.
And August is a pretty hot month, I've heard. And if Ye knows what I'm talking about, August is right before September, and the end of our deadline is right in September. So it would be natural that that would happen around that time. By the way, if you go onto the boards of the Quelle boards and we talk about what we've talked about, and we go back to July and August of last year, when Quelle was saying that she is going to replace him. When was the time frame that she was supposed to do that? July and August. Now, I'm telling you that I thought it would happen a lot sooner, but now looking back on the Q boards, I think what's going to happen is in the July time frame, Kamala is going to take over for Joe Biden. July-August time frame is when that'll happen. But something big's going to happen between them that's going to make a lot of people lose faith in Joe Biden. I think we're going to have systematic collapses of different things from infrastructure, energy grid infrastructure. We'll probably see riots and those types of things, protests in the street, and the financial bubble collapsing very, 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 very shortly. But I think what you might have is they have a sector collapse. But I don't know. We'll see. We're going to...
So, man, you know, I don't know what you...
Oh, sermons. Quelle? Come on, man. Q.
So...
Dude, if you don't know how YouTube algorithms work, then please. Just...
So, interestingly enough, we've said when do birds sing, right?
Yeah.
Well, Lindell is coming out, you said, in 2 weeks.
Yep.
2 weeks from today is the last month, or last day of the month, right?
Okay.
Not the last week of the month. How you want
So it comes out on April Fool's Day.
No, it comes out, well, maybe, but
On Easter.
first day of spring is 27th. When do birds spring? Or when do birds sing?
Spring.
In spring.
Yeah.
Because the weather's nice.
That's right. Exactly. And so, you know what, man? We can find these correlations directly everywhere. Is that...
Absolutely.
This is what I've said, is those boards were cryptic messages of how things were going to unfold after. It's kind of what you got to see, is think mirror in the sense of everything we thought was going to happen then. Think mirror, now it's going to all happen and unfold for us. I'm paying attention, guys. Don't worry. I'm still up to date. I'm paying attention, but be patient.
Yeah.
Just be patient. This is Project Veritas. Facebook official argues for government breakup of social media giant. This is pretty interesting. No king in the history of the world has been the ruler of 2 billion people, but Mark Zuckerberg is, and he's 36, Thomas said when talking about the control of Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg exerts over the company. That's too much for a 36-year-old. You should not have power over 2 billion. I think that's wrong. Most people don't know these things, and most people don't think about them, Thomas said, which is why a lot of shit goes down because a lot of people aren't paying attention. Everything from election interference on up. We know it. They know it. Now the world's knowing it. This was a good one. The average number of new Texas COVID-19 cases are dropping. This is after they released their mask mandates and all the social distancing requirements and getting back all the normal. Pretty crazy, too. Did you see that video of that lady in the bank not wearing the mask?
Oh, and they went after her?
And they went after her, and the cop arrested her. And they said, you were in a private establishment. Now, here's the problem with that declaration that it's a private business.
Doesn't matter.
Possession is 9/10 of the law, right, Jay?
Sure.
Okay. Does that bank hold my money? Do they hold my assets, my property?
Mm-hmm.
So is it a private business if they are holding my property? Or do I have ownership rights within that property? Do I have a right to be there and express my freedoms as if it is a public? The courts are going to have to decide that. But, you know, that's how these people get around it is, oh, no, you need to wear your mask when you come into the bank, right? Get the fuck out of here. I walked into a store the other day and I had a mask in my hand and they all looked at me and went... and they just kept on walking. But,
yeah. I always like walking in. I like walk in and I don't put it on until like the eyes come. Then I throw it over the ears. Then I got to fix it on the ears because my ears don't like masks. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There we go. So, we got that right there. What's next? Biden planning for first major tax increase in 3 decades. And so this is going to be bad, like Jay was saying, is they're going to come after capital gains. And look, for all those crypto people out there, they're coming after capital gains for a reason. And it is because if you ever paid attention to Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it's because those people that are employees or sole proprietors don't really know how taxes work. Now, Jay, what is another word to describe taxes besides illegal, unconstitutional?
Slavery.
Well, actually, incentive. It's incentivization. So taxes are the way that the government says, if you do this, you don't have to pay this. If you don't do this, then you have to pay this. That's what taxes are.
So if you work, you have to do this.
If you work a job, which the government doesn't want you to do, okay? The government doesn't want you to work a job. The government wants you to go out there and be independent, sovereign, wants to go out there, create a business. They want you to hire employees to work for you, and they want you to basically produce for the country, increase the GDP. That's what the government wants you to do. So, what they do is they tax employees. It's basically a fine for not starting your own business. Now, be a sole proprietor. What's a sole proprietor?
Somebody that works independently.
Well, you just work for yourself.
Yeah.
You work for yourself, right? Yeah. You're an employee of yourself.
You see how they're trying to get rid of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so now you're an employee for yourself. So there really is no... If you're a sole proprietor, you're just an employee, a glorified employee. Now, if you're a business owner, this is where things start to happen for you. Because you have different methodologies where you can incentivize your taxes in the sense of reinvestment. One of the biggest incentives that the government asks for from business owners is that they reinvest capital back into their business in assets. Did you know this? It's a massive tax break. And this is why, like, for instance, that I mentioned to you, I said, you drive a Ford F-150. And the reason is because if you have a Ford if you buy a Ford F-150 in the first year, you get to take all 15 years of depreciation that first year. And that was passed in 2018.
Only for a Ford F-150?
For a Ford F-150, which classifies, I think, is it's like a class 127 in the sense of the weight. So the tax credit break can be up to $1 million if you're utilizing it for business, which that ain't hard for a lot of people. No. But that Ford F-150 is the one that gives you the largest tax credit. And so that's why all these wealthy people drive Ford F-150s. So there's things that you can do. Now, the other quadrant, right, in Rich Dad Poor Dad, is the investor. This is where you utilize money to make money. And if you go through, Jay, and it's actually, you look at the tax percentages, excuse me, the employee pays approximately 30%. The sole proprietor pays about 25 to 20%. The business owner pays about 15%. And the investor pays almost 0 to 15%. You remember when Hillary Clinton in 2016 asked Donald Trump about his taxes? And she says, you paid no taxes. You know what he said? Because I'm smart.
Right.
Right? What he meant to say is he understands how money works, he understands what taxes are, and he understands how to utilize his money, right? Now, think about this. What were Donald Trump's personal taxes last year? Do you know? Nothing. He didn't have a salary. He gave it away.
Oh, you mean from being president?
See how that works?
Yeah.
He doesn't have to pay taxes because he didn't have an income.
Yep.
And guess what? He doesn't pay himself. He lives through his companies. His companies support his lifestyle. Everything that he has in his lifestyle is an asset within his company. His personal income is almost 0. Because these people understand that the government gives incentives, tax breaks, okay, to companies that basically reinvest their money, their profits, into assets. Now, cryptocurrency has been recognized as an asset class, so this is critically important to find out if the IRS will honor that in the sense of reinvesting capital back into asset classes as a tax credit, tax break. So this is something I'm researching heavily right now, in the sense because all my stuff that I buy through a business. Mm-hmm. So I buy through my own company. So it's trying to maximize that tax incentive. But we'll see. This is it's an interesting time to be alive, man. But so for those wondering, when Joe Biden raises taxes, he's not raising taxes on the wealthy 1%. He's not raising taxes on investors. He's not raising taxes on the wealthy business owners. He's raising taxes on the highest paid employees. Remember that. He's raising taxes on the highest paid employees. Because the CEO of a company that makes $16 million a year, Jay, is still an employee. Why do you think the majority of their salary comes in stock options?
Because they don't have to pay taxes on those.
Right, but they get dividends, and the dividends basically are in now quadrant 4, the investor, which are 0 to 15% tax rate. Whereas their salary might be $100K a year. People are like, oh, our CEO, he's a multi-billion-dollar corporation. He only takes a $100,000 salary a year. Yeah, because he doesn't want to get taxed out the ass. But look how much stock he has, and look at the dividends that he's getting paid. The financial game is what's happening right now, guys. The next 6 months, it's all going to be financial. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to get left behind. But if you look, all the moves that they're making is they're setting this country up for massive economic collapse. 100%. Texas Governor Abbott says growing crisis on the southern border. Biden is enriching the drug cartels.
No.
So, Texas Governor Abbott visited the southern border last week and spoke with Border Patrol agents about the influx of illegal immigration and slammed the Biden administration for instituting policies that are enriching drug cartels. Border Patrol officers told Abbott that massive surge in illegal immigration was caused by the policy change of the Biden administration and warned that it'll get far worse in the coming months. Well, and who said that there's the border is more important than you could ever know? DJT, right? Miss me yet? I'm pretty sure he's saying that right now.
I'll tell you what, I miss him. I miss him on Twitter. Too. I miss him on the news. I miss him just kicking ass and telling these people they're frauds just like they are.
Agreed.
That's what I miss.
100%.
I miss the old Trumpster, and I'm not gonna lie about it.
He needs to come out of the shadows and start voicing his public comments, man.
He does.
I think once that platform comes out,
Mm.
you're going to be seeing a lot more of Donald Trump. You got to remember, Donald Trump said many months ago, he says, we're in talks with other social media platforms. And he never went on one, did he? Mike Lindell. I'm telling you, that is the platform. Mike Lindell's going to come out with it. Trump's going to go, I'm here. And 100 million people are going to flock over there and leave all the rest of them in the dust. Facebook, Twitter, they're going to have to cancel so many projects. They're going to lose so much revenue because of everybody leaving.
Yeah, if you have Facebook stock, sell. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You got Twitter stock, sell. Because that is exactly what's going to happen. You know, you're exactly right. How does Twitter go and say they posted, you know, profits this year? They deleted everybody that they possibly could. It's like a graveyard over there. I don't even like Twitter anymore.
I don't even get on anymore. Very rarely. You know how like you get on and like it was like a ghost town. It still is. Mm-hmm. It's just a ghost town out there. Oh man. More gun control, more gun sales. So we have Feinstein introducing the assault-looking gun ban and high-capacity magazine ban. We have the I think HR 1 heading to the Senate. If these bills pass, guys, I can promise you that you're going to see a massive retaliation from a lot of a massive public outwardly expression, not uprising. Got to use my words correctly here. Is very verbal conservatives are going to say a few things and deem this unconstitutional. Massively unconstitutional. And, yeah, I think even liberals and independents will say the same thing. And so there's nothing in the Second Amendment that says that the people should not have high-capacity magazines and rifles. They actually say that they should be equivalent to the militias, which now we're even being infringed. So you got to remember, guys, they are trying to spark a civil war because that is the one part of the color revolution that they need. And this is one of the things, one of the precursors, the prelude, if you want to call it that they have going on. All right. So for everybody wondering with the cryptocurrency and stuff, I went out and I created an NFT store. I changed my new profile pic, Jay. I know you can't see that, but I changed my profile pic. My profile pic is this down the rabbit hole little video right there. These are on Rarible. They are NFTs. If you guys just want to go check them out, you guys can check them out. They're on my Twitter. There's this one and the purple Bitcoin guy, and then down the rabbit hole. I thought they were pretty cool, but it took me a little bit of time. Had to put some stuff together and create them. But yeah, it's an interesting time to be alive because we did this video yesterday with the Crypto Mastermind group, and we had this guy actually from Rochester on there who he's an artist and he builds NFTs and he's been doing this for a while. And I'm telling you guys, if you're not in that marketplace, get in there. If you're an artist or you have something to sell that you can digitize it, whether it's a book, whether it's a memory, if it's like a Michael Jordan rookie card that you're holding on to, you can digitize that as an NFT and put it up for auction. Just a digital version of it, okay? Like, this is some pretty cool stuff. So, you know, what you guys need to do is go on and check these things out in Rarible and OceanSea and stuff like that. Just check them out. Go to those links on my Twitter. Check them out. Tell me what you think. As well, we are still doing the donation run for the Thibodeauxs. So we have about 15 more days. It's going to be run until March 30th. So if you guys have not donated and have a chance to donate, please head on over there. That is linked up below. It's helped raise the $5,000 to the Thibodeauxs. We've already raised the $5,000, but we're going to keep it open until the 30th. And so if you can help them out, they are so happy right now. They're in so much gratitude. Keith just sent me a message a little while ago. So go ahead and do that if you could do that. I think someone was just saying to link those up, so I'm going to try to link those up here. If you're on the primary YouTube channel, there you go. NFT. There's one NFT. Hold on. What are your thoughts, Jay? Jay's not, by the way, for people that don't know, Jay's not into the whole crypto thing.
I am not.
Jay's just like, I got gold and silver, and I'll keep my gold and silver, and hey, which is cool, right?
Yeah. The Wall Street Journal just came out and said President Joe Biden is pushing Congress for a higher corporate tax rate to reform Tax Cuts and Jobs Acts of 2017. Some experts are concerned about the impact that would have. So they're thinking it's going to impact 159,000 jobs. Good job, Joe.
Good job, Joe.
Good job.
Good job, Joe. Good job, Joe. You know, we should start like this tradition of like every end of the episode we say, "Good job, Joe. Good job, Joe." But he don't know. Where am I? Well, I didn't know I was supposed to do that. Oh, where are we? Sermons is like, "Yeah, Jay, I'm with you. No crypto." That's cool, guys. Hey, look, I'm telling you, if you have gold and silver, I think you're in a good spot. But once it hits its all-time highs, once it goes up and skyrockets during this bubble burst, you'd want to get out of it because it's going to crash and come back down. Not crash and come down, back down, but it's going to settle at lower prices than their all-time highs. Basically, what I see gold and silver skyrocketing to highly inflated prices, basically to compensate for the highly inflated dollar during a market crash, and then basically a market transition into the blockchain infrastructure and markets, and then gold and silver settling around probably 100 to 150% of their current prices. Mm-hmm. And I'm dead serious about that price point. Silver actually about, I would say, potentially 300 to 400% of its current price point because it's already deflated. But we'll see. We'll see, man. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. You know, I'm kind of like interested in, I'm looking really forward to this, like the blockchain private internet thing. You know, quite honestly, I will tell you, I spend very little time on Facebook now. Mm-hmm. I spend very little time on Twitter. I spend very little time on Telegram or Telegraph or whatever it is. I'm not on Parler anymore.
Nobody's on Parler anymore. Yeah, I'm on it, but
I don't do Instagram. I mean, I'm pretty much not on any social media. And part of the reason is because being attacked by liberals, man. Like, this is what I believe. I don't come onto your page and attack you for what you believe. You know what I do? I keep scrolling. Right? And so I actually am looking forward to the fact that there could be a place where I can just, I mean, I know there is the Redpill, but you know, not all the people that I like are on there, right? And some of them are on there because maybe I'm a little too extreme for them, and that's okay. But whereas in Facebook, those people that are not as extreme with me still agree with me, and I can still converse with them, right?
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that. I wish you could get like $100,000 and just get it going, man. Get it going.
You know what? That actually might be a possibility. We're in discussions to do these things, and we've been in discussions for a while. But we got some things moving right now, and some other podcast ideas, kind of like a rally call to conservative type of podcast as well, which I think would be really enjoyable. And I think you need to reach out to that radio station again, because I think if we could get on there, that'd be great.
You should do that.
But
then we would have to come up with real content.
Well, this is real content.
I'm just kidding. I know. I'm just kidding.
Dude, you know, we got the best people out there.
Sorry, I had a cough drop. I swallowed wrong.
Yeah.
So there's one guy on there, dude, that I love in the mornings. He's on after Glenn Beck. And he'll play sound bites. But what he does is he'll be like, "So tell me, Rick, what do you think about that?" And then he plays the soundbite of what the guy says, or he'll give his opinion and be like, "So tell me, Rick, what do you think?" And then he'll hit play, and then he plays the soundbites. So he puts a little bit of humor to it, and he doesn't have the best personality, but I really like how he does that. It's really funny. He makes me laugh more than anybody, and he's and he's being serious, you know. So
Yeah.
I like the fact that he brings humor into something that's very, very serious, or some type of humor. I wouldn't say he brings a ton, but
Yeah, it's content is not really an issue because there's a lot happening in the world, even when there's not a lot happening in the world, right? Is you can always find something to talk about, and we're just fortunate that we have a great platform, we have a great community on that platform, and everybody's engaged and involved. And that's what I'm most I have the most gratitude for, is that everybody's engaged and involved, and everybody is active and trying to be even more active. And man, I mean, I get so busy. It's hard to keep up with everybody all the time. The platform though, the app, we're gonna be hopefully rolling something out here a lot better than what we're using. But in the meantime, I decided that we're gonna allow the growth to happen. So I've been kind of halting the growth on where we're at until we got to our own platform. And I said, you know what? I'm just done waiting. Let's just do it. So that's why we're going to go on to Methods Network and the Foxhole. We're going to do that. We're going to look into some other places to stream and talk to. I might actually put a picture up on this YouTube page. They haven't figured us out yet. But we'll see. So things are moving. Things are happening. Much love and respect to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You guys are absolutely awesome. I might pop into the after chat after this for a little while. Probably won't be on for another hour or so. I have a few things to take care of, but I'll probably pop in here in a little bit. Much love and respect to everybody. God bless. Take care. Sermon, keep your chin up, bud. Much love to you. Love you, man. Hang in there. Trust me, things are happening. I promise you. Take care, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
peace.